Hello Logic Language Learners. This is a video that was inspired by a question I received from Arnab. Okay, so Arnab is one of our WhatsApp subscribers who you can ask me a question in the comments underneath. You can email me at logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com, and by all means you can ask for a WhatsApp and explain yourself with a sound file, and I don't ask for anything for that. If you want a regular WhatsApp service that people seem to want, regular questions, regular whatever, I have a sort of price for that per month, and you can, it's got a quick service, so you send whatever you want as your question and I normally send you a sound file back straight away answering it for you. So that's quite useful for some people who are doing exams or living in France or what have you. Okay, so do think about that. But Arnab's question was about using the word nobody, the word order of nobody. So Arnab's question was, if I say I have eaten nothing, okay, then I'm famously using ne and rien, okay? And he says, I understand that. Yeah, so I've eaten nothing, je n'ai rien mangé. And he says, I understand that. His concern was, if he said he's seen nobody, okay, then the order changes. And instead of saying je n'ai personne vu, you are now having to say, if my pen holds out, je n'ai vu personne. Je n'ai vu personne. So this was his dilemma. He said, okay, I've learnt these words, ne un pas not, ne un jamais never, ne un plus no more, ne un que only. I will be doing a video on ne un que shortly for Ian. And ne un personne, nobody. So the first thing I need to stress is ne un personne works in a different way from the rest of them. So let's have a little video all about nobody or anybody, okay? So I've just realised I have my keys around my neck. I haven't won a medal in a race. So there are other videos where we've talked about nobody, everybody, or anybody, and I will attach that video as a link in the end frame of this video, hopefully, okay, so you can find that there. But this is more specifically just about the word nobody, anybody, and the word order with that, okay? So first things first, the word for nobody is personne, personne. Now you will straight away say, but this is the word for a person, une personne, and indeed you would be correct. Yeah, so, oh look, I can see a person. Je peux voir une personne. I can see nobody. Je peux voir personne. Or je ne peux voir personne. So the first thing you will notice is that for a person, or the people, les personnes, you need the article. You need the or the a. Okay, so a person, une personne. So the first trick we need to remember when we're using the word nobody is, yes, it's like ne un pas, ne un jamais, ne un rien, all of these kind of clever little things we can do to a normal sentence to give it these colours. But the honest best trick we can do is to imagine personne is a person, no pun intended, is to imagine that it's like a guy or a girl that we know. So let's say I'm talking about my friend Sam, okay? So I see, and the Sam I'm thinking of is a girl, by the way, rather than a boy. So I see Sam, je vois Sam, yeah? Je vois Sam. Sam sees me, Sam me voit, yeah? Sam me voit. I see nobody. Now orally, this is acceptable, not formally written down. Orally, I see nobody, je vois personne. So you are literally imagining the name of the person you can see is called personne. I don't see anybody, je vois personne. So notice if I said nobody can see me, yeah? Personne me voit. Now, with both of those examples, we need to consider two things. The first thing we need to consider is that often in English, we won't use the word nobody, we will use the word anybody and make it a negative verb. So I can't see anybody, yeah, is arguably the same as no, so I see nobody is the same as I can't see anybody. We just tend to prefer to say the negative verb in English, okay? So, I like nobody, meaning I don't like anybody, would be j'aime personne, okay? Nobody likes me matches the French a little bit more. Personne m'aime. So you are just imagining personne like a name. Next thing then, if you want to work out that formally, and let's try and find a better pen, you need a n with personne. So I want you to imagine personne is a creature and it's always got a n with it. So it's either going to have it before personne or it's either going to have it after personne. So if you say, if we go back to the examples that we've just done, if you look at j'ai vu, je n'ai vu personne, we've got that n there. Yeah, I could just as well have he doesn't see anybody, il ne voit personne. Okay? And you will notice that formally, il ne voit personne. Yeah? V-O-I-T, sorry. Il ne voit personne. Formally, there's that n there. Okay? Il ne voit personne. Already, conversationally, il voit personne. He doesn't see anybody. The poor guy, he doesn't leave his room. Il voit personne. He just makes language videos for people and tries to help online and just never goes out. I go out plenty, don't worry. So, il ne voit personne. So you can get rid of this n, but to remember that formally we need this if we were writing formally. Or for exams. Equally then, if you said nobody sees me, personne, if we would treat, so what's the law? We treat personne like it is a name. So Luc sees me, Luc me voit. Nobody sees me, personne me voit. So personne me voit is orally correct, but to remember, that to be totally correct, we need a ne. Personne ne me voit. Personne ne me voit. Personne ne me voit. But that we will often just drop the ne orally. Personne me voit. Oh, mais personne me parle. No one's talking to me. Okay? Now, we often drop ne. We often do things where we drop a ne. But in this case, it's particularly interesting because the end of the word personne, if you look at it, is giving us a n sound. Personne. So you're kind of doubling up the n. Personne. Yeah, personne. Yeah, personne ne me voit. So personne me voit, personne ne me voit. So to come back to Arnab's original question, yes, ne and pas, ne and jamais, ne and rien. Yeah, okay, they work interestingly in the same way as ne and personne sometimes. So I like nothing, je n'aime rien, or j'aime rien. I don't go out anymore, je ne sors plus. I never go out, je ne sors jamais. I don't hate anybody, je ne déteste personne. So when you've just got one verb to play with, yes, arguably, it feels that they're all the same. Ne and pas, ne and jamais, ne and rien. But when you've got other ingredients coming into the sentence, like an auxiliary, all of this kind of business, personne kind of works like a name, okay? And that's what you've got to remember. So while I'm there, is there anything else I can think about with personne that is quite interesting for you? So let's have a little look. Personne can be used on its own, okay? So who's coming? Nobody. Personne. Yeah, personne. Okay. Anything else that I'd made notes on to tell you? Let's have a little look. Yes, it can sometimes be anybody, even without a negative verb. So, for example, he works better than anybody. He works better than... There's nobody else that works the same. Il travaille mieux que personne. Yeah? So we wouldn't say il travaille mieux que quelqu'un. Because anybody, somebody in French, quelqu'un is kind of, you know, a specific somebody. So, well, no, it's not specific, but it just wouldn't work that way in French. this imaginary, well, there's nobody else that works like he does. Il travaille mieux que personne. Anything else that I could possibly throw in about personne that isn't immediately obvious? So there was nobody in the room. Il y avait personne dans la salle. Il n'y avait personne dans la salle. So remember, a lot of this not that you're either going to keep or not keep will often be n joining up with a verb. So there's nobody. Il y a personne. Yeah, I mean that will even become il y a personne. Il n'y a personne. Il n'y avait personne. Or il y avait personne. Yeah, I'm a big dropper of n, and I'm a correct speaker. I think that's basically, yeah, I think that's basically the main point that, without getting into too complicated phrasal expressions using personne that are colloquial, I think that's the main point that Arnaud is making. So let's just give a few examples. So I saw nobody, j'ai vu personne, je n'ai vu personne formally. Nobody wants to talk to me. Personne veut me parler. Personne ne veut me parler. I'm going to kill. I'm not going to kill anybody. Je vais tuer personne. Yeah. So this is a pronoun. You're used to going, okay, I'm going to kill. So I'm going to kill it. Je vais le tuer. Okay, I've got it, Luke. Yeah. So I would put the little word before the long word, and indeed that is something I encourage. But personne, what is the general rule for all of this video so that we don't overthink, which is the purpose of logic language learning. We don't overthink, we treat personne like a name. So I'm not going to kill Sam. Je ne vais pas tuer Sam. I'm not going to kill anybody. Moi je vais tuer personne. Je ne vais tuer personne. Okay? So, I hope that's been useful. Do please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Do please let me know. I will attach the anybody, everybody, anything, anywhere video at the end, the first of a few, just so you can have a watch, but don't overcomplicate matters. If you have any questions that you want videos about, or about which you would like a video, then do please email me, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com. Like I said, you can WhatsApp me a question. People often prefer WhatsApp because they don't have to explain it in typing. They just hold the button and go, and speak, and I really like it, and then I can give you a spoken answer back, and that's fine and that's free. Yes, if you email me I will give you my WhatsApp, and that's no problem at all. All I'm saying is if those of you that are using me like a regular translation service, or for exam checkers, or you know, you want that kind of ongoing thing, and you're not doing lessons with me, then I am starting to just ask for a financial gesture towards that, because some people are asking sort of 5-6 times a day, which is fine. But, you know, we're going to introduce a little paid fee for that. Finally, if you have lessons with me, you can ask us an unlimited amount of WhatsApp questions, as Stuart and Ian will attest. Okay, so I hope you guys are fine. Look forward to the video on Only, and I will speak to you soon.